Hello, welcome. I am Meijin. I'm so much more, but that is my name. And I want to talk to you about children. And because parents and teachers, I would expect, would tune into this conversation, I will be talking about parenting and teaching. Speaking directly to parents and teachers. Today, I want to speak to the parent. Although, funny that I should open with this whole parent-teacher thing, kind of irrelevant, but it never is. This is also true for whoever works with a child. In his book, The Prophet, Khalil Gibran says this about children. Speaking to parents, he says, "You are the bows from which your children, as living arrows, are sent forth. The archer sees the mark upon the path of the infinite, and he bends you with his might so that his arrows may go swift and far. Let your bending in the archer's hand be for gladness, for even as he loves the arrow that flies, he loves also the bow that is stable." Early on in my work, like day one, I felt it was important to identify the role. What's my role as a parent? Like, what the heck? What am I doing? Parenting. Okay, but what is that? We have these titles and we're like, okay, got it. But do we? What is parenting? And then we all think we know because something happened to us from a parent, you know? We were parented. It can be whatever the heck you say it is. So in everything I do, everything I think about, everything I want to learn, I think, what works? What works? I could think, and it's not unimportant, what do I really believe in? Because we have a lot of these belief systems, and we have a lot of them on parenting. And we think they're golden. We think they put us on the right track. We think abiding by them places us on the right track. Not necessarily. See, the thing is that we all come from a society, a culture that says, look at me, don't worry about how you feel. I'm gonna tell you what to do. I'm gonna tell you what we're doing. We, in this culture, do this. Don't worry about why. Just know, if you do this, you're right. If you don't do it, you're wrong. As a result, we continue to lack a higher intelligence collectively, not individually, necessarily. And this is a problem that it's time now to resolve. So, as we engage with one another, we will be getting to that bottom line. Engaging in that space of what works. I could say, well, my role is to love my kids as much as possible. And, well, my role is to discipline. My role is to teach my kids and prepare them for the world. My role is to... So we say these things often without asking what makes a person feel loved. Because if you claim to love someone, but they actually don't feel it, you're wasting your time. If you claim to prepare someone for the world, and they're actually not prepared by the time you're done, because you didn't ask, what does that mean? Actually, not what does my society say it means. Society doesn't know shit, especially society. Truth is truth. It lives inside of us. Not here, here. So I invite you, as we have this conversation, instead of look and follow, I invite you to feel and follow. Your child's future depends on it. And that sounds terrifying. However, we'll be talking about that. But it's just true. It's not telling you to be perfect. That truth doesn't demand your perfection. It doesn't demand it's not trying to control you. But it's true. Your child's life depends on whatever you choose to do as a parent. So, here, it's talking about how as parents, we are the bow and the child is the arrow. So that means, and I want to hear your feedback on what does that mean right now as you think about that. So if I'm the bow and my child is the arrow, what's my role? The more I expand, the more I stretch, the more I grow, the farther my child will go. My inability to, we don't have an inability to, so let's not use that. My refusal, right? My lack of, for whatever reason, my lack of expansion causes my child to go nowhere to not very far. Okay. So, and I've not said it like this before, and that happens often with me. It happens often with all of us when we allow ourselves to be led, when we're not afraid to tune in and go, to trust ourselves. So anyway, our role, our most important role, because here's the thing, you will not do everything well because you're human. It's not like, unfortunately, it's not unfortunate, it's real. So we, it's like, okay, the earth is round. It's not unfortunate, It's just round, okay? Yes, there are consequences to every truth. It's just what it is. So, good you got that, because I lost my train of thought. If our role as parents is to expand our primary role, and what I was saying, yes, is that you can't do everything well. So when we say our primary role, it's important to say, okay, if I can do one thing well, because at one point, I was a parent who was devastated by trauma in the middle of raising my children as a single mother and raising children who also experienced trauma. And I could do nothing. I could do nothing in reality. Like I don't want to be on earth was my story. Take me out, okay? Which I'm not leaving, because I got kids who I adore and who deserve as much as I can give, and I can give nothing. So that feels very unfortunate when you're feeling that. And I knew always, because I had already begun my work, it had been years into my research and so on, writing school reform plans, nobody asked me for it, etc. And then studying mental health. And so I knew, okay, what is if I could figure out the most important thing right now to give my kids, and I can muster up some semblance of energy and love and whatever the heck, then at least I'm doing that, right? But I don't want to just do whatever. I want to do the thing that matters. So here we are. The thing that matters is that you expand. I say this to children all the time. When we pop out of the womb, the second we do, we are immersed in belief systems, in contracts. You are beautiful, sign here. You are not beautiful, sign here. You are perfect, you better stay that way or else, sign here, etc. You know, here, welcome to Earth. You're black, you're white, you're somewhere in between. Some people, nobody will like you because you're not like them. You know, blah, 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 blah. It goes on endlessly. But what you almost never encounter is, who are you? What would you like? You don't want to share your toy? This is something important enough to you that you'd like not to share it? We respect that. How do you feel? This friend is coming over. You don't want to play with them. You're not in a mood to play. How do you feel? Who are you? That's what doesn't happen often. How are you? And the minute you as a human being bring a child to your home, then you'll be lucky if anybody asks you, how are you? Now people become interested, not in how you make them feel. Like, you focus on how I feel. Here I am, I hope I feel welcome, I hope I feel like this, and I hope I feel like that. Look out, make sure everyone's feeling good when you walk in the room. Oh, they don't like when you wear this, you should wear something else. Oh, they don't like your hair like that. You should do something else about it. Oh, they don't like when you curse. You should not curse around them. Oh, they don't seem to like this. It's exhausting. What a waste of time. What a waste of all of the incredible deliciousness that is you and that you came to express. What a waste of the incredible deliciousness that you can have your children watch you express. It makes a lot of sense that the parenting role is to grow and expand. So that means our primary focus, if we want to raise children who go far, if we want to not limit our kids, like, you know, the arrow just boop, goes nowhere. It's not alive. But if we want to raise kids that are full of life, then we don't just all around them, giving them stuff, throwing money, throwing energy, you know, not doing your hair, but at least your kid's hair is done, you know, don't eat, but at least they ate. You can eat shit. They eat the good. That's the rule. They won't go far that way. Why? Because they have no example, because that's not how we as humans learn. By being overfed by goodness and lessons and overfed by words, and that's not how we learn. We learn by example. That's why if I tell you a story, boom, you're tuned in. Because then you can observe the example of the people in that story. Your children are, I'm going to say, smarter than you. And what I mean is, when we're young, we haven't experienced and we haven't locked in yet. The younger we are, the less that we've locked in, like, oh, nobody wants to hear this from me, and all the belief systems. So therefore, we're more intuitive. Our intuition is more intact, which makes us wise. Because your intuition tells you things that your brain could never know. Your senses tell you a lot about your surroundings, the people in your surroundings, where you should go in life, what you came here for, etc. The older we get, the more we feel compelled to get in line, not with who we are, but with what other people want us to be in order for us to survive this life. That's the story. So it makes sense that we would either get on or continue on this journey of tending to ourselves so that we are an example of growth. You want your child to grow up, because that's the only thing that's on the table. Growing down is not a thing that we try to do on purpose. Life moves on, forward, not backwards. I believe that's alluded to in this poem earlier before the part that I read to you earlier. And I think what I'd like to do is pick it apart a little bit, go back to the beginning and record another video on that. But so in order for us to expand, we need to tend to our own selves. And I don't mean do your nails. That's not where you start. Nobody has to tell you. I don't think anybody has to tell you, do your nails, do your hair, and whatever. It doesn't begin there. It begins with, who are you? When I speak to a group, that's what we talk about. It's the most fundamental, most imperative question to answer well, and make sure no one, not your parents, not your spouse, not your partner, not your kids, can know the answer to that question better than you. That's when you know you're doing it. And you don't have to know that you're doing it from the outside because you're doing it. But you should be the one who answers that question the best, more thoroughly than anybody else. I remember when I first had my kids, I was going to this church that was a real thumbs down, and I was like, it was like a real Stepford wife feel, but not with the fashion. And it was, because that's kind of meaning I am here to play a role, that kind of thing, basically. And I remember my soul just being like, just screaming from inside of my body, like, don't call me mom. I am a person. Hello? Over here. Not here. Here. I am a person. And I had no it wasn't, I wasn't having issues. I was not unwell. It was not that type of thing. We can talk about when I was unwell. That's something. But that wasn't it. It was that it was, I want to say, a message that this child was sending me. It was a spiritual alert going on inside of me. I am a person. Don't start making me secondary. Don't start wiping my identity with my child. Don't start replacing me with my child. I am a person. And that had nothing to do with how I felt about my kids who I would for, right? I adored my kids. They were the easiest kids on earth. The loveliest. That had nothing to do with that. I didn't even see the kid. I was pregnant with my first child, and I just knew. Spiritual alert. I am a person. So let me tell you something. I got on a journey where, like I said, I'm like, I need to know this. I wanted to know everything. I wanted to know about parenting. I was interested, rightfully so, appropriately so. And I was like studying and writing like a maniac, 24/7, waking up 3 a.m. like a zombie, a happy zombie, just downloading. I know a lot. So you would think I'm just like parenting like a queen. Not. I mean, I'm not gonna say that my kids are not like, I mean, because that's a whole other topic that I want to have a conversation with somebody about on the channel. You know, I think it's better that way to tackle a topic like this. Like what, like, you know, we're saying like, what is parenting? Well, am I a good parent? I mean, that's weird. Listen, things come out with a lot less confusion when we cut through the BS of the title. A better question is, do you feel my love? Okay. Do you feel I'm with you? Do you, like, get to the point, right? It's like the word racist. Bullshit word. Racist. I mean, for the purpose of saying, hey, we're gonna talk about X. Yes, it's an identification. We're talking about parenting. Oh, got it, you know. But if we're gonna really get into it, we've gotta move that title over. What is really happening here? Ignorance, fear, right? Parenting. So, am I a shining parent because I know so much? I don't even know how to, I'm gonna tell you this. I watch myself do not the opposite, but like, you know, do number 3 and then number 4 and then number 1 and number 2 all the time. You know, like I talk all the time about, and you know what? Here's the thing. I haven't been talking all the time about that. I was better when I was talking all the time about that. So this is another reason why I know these conversations are so valuable for us to constantly be getting real about. Not like, here's a quick tip. I mean, fine, here's a quick tip. Great. But let's discuss. Let's talk about it. Let's dig in. Because when I was doing videos all the time before shit hit the fan in my life and I had to stop everything, and I'm just coming back right now to everything, or to whatever things call me. And so when I was doing that, I was very much in tune, right? It was very helpful. My work serves me so well. It feeds my soul in so many ways. Either way, I still know this stuff. I still know this stuff. Am I doing it perfectly? Hell to the no. No. What's the point? I don't know, I forgot, but I know it's not about perfection. And okay, what's the point? The point literally is the role. What is the role, right? The role of expansion. My kids can probably, give more feedback about who I am than what I'm, parenting. I mean, who is your mom? They can probably speak more about that than, what parenting strategies am I using? That's just so weird to even think about, but that anybody would, well, they're us nerds anyway, but you get what I'm saying. If you don't, just let me know. And as I said that, I'm thinking like I was asking my kids, because I was writing a dating profile before I was like if I rolled my eyes how I really feel, they'd get stuck. Anyway, so I was filling this out, and I asked my kids, like, oh, it was the question that's like, what would your friends say about you? I'm like, you should ask my friends. No, I should ask my friends, who are my kids as well. And I asked my kids, and I ran across it the other day. The most rich, authentic, nailing it feedback from my kids and my close friends, and just friends who get me, right? But wow, yeah, that's what you're teaching. Who are you? That's what you're teaching. Now, if you can't say who you are to this level where it's like nailing it, and that's okay. There's no better time than today to start saying who you are. But if you can't say who you are, we can talk about that. There's definitely going to be there's a video on that everywhere I turn. Every time I open my mouth, I'm talking about that video. Anyway, if you don't know, then you're not you. You're not being you to the fullest extent. You're being whatever something is asking you to be. On time, a good worker, make enough money, a soccer mom, whatever. That's not who you are. That's what you're doing. That has nothing to do with who you are. Anybody could do those things. And God forbid, those things are constantly being done on default mode. Oh, wait, welcome to Earth. Who are you? Not what you do, not what's your job, not what sport you play. Your essence. Describe your essence. I want you to think about, at least if you're in on this with me, I want you to think about 1 to 3 characteristics. One characteristic that describes you the best. Like the thing about you that just goes, hello, more often than anything else. What would you say it is? For me? Because, I want to say that thing just peers its head no matter what. No matter if you're like, no thanks. It's like, it's like, look at me. For me, I would say passion. Always comes down to that for me. I could be like, oh my gosh, I was dying in a mental health crisis. And as I'm dying, I'm like, what could I teach from? Teacher, I came here to teach, which means what it means. We can talk about it. It doesn't mean that I know everything. A teacher is a shaker because you know everything. You know who you are. You know what you came for. I don't know. People might be able to say something about it, but you better not be going on somebody who's not you. But whatever I'm doing, even if I don't like something, I'm so about it. It's my compass. My passion is my compass. I'm like totally grossed out by something that I like couldn't care less about. I can't even do it. I can't even, if my life depended on it. God help us. Because like, I so don't care. I can't. All right, okay. And here, I'm so excited to freaking be here, finally showing my face, because I really wasn't feeling that coming from my long ass mental health recovery of isolation. My time of recovering, I was like, I am social. Yeah. I am very social. It's another thing about me, highly social. My son calls me a chronic extrovert. It's because he has stayed at places way longer than he ever cared to, because I'm still talking. You know, I could go on because I've done it. For a few years, every year, I would write a list of 100 characteristics that really nail who I am. I freaking deserve it. You deserve it. There is nothing better for you to do than to understand who you are and claim it. And when you do that, what comes out of that is understanding what, you came here to do. What are you doing here? I don't know about you, and I really hope that your heart is full of light and joy. That you would say, I love Earth. I'm so happy to be here, right? Because, you know, that's healthy. But I'm only so happy to be here because I know what the hell I'm doing here. And let me tell you, I was very young when I demanded to know, because I'm weird. It's time for weirdness. I couldn't take it being here without knowing. This is called purpose. Simply, like, why are you here? Why didn't you leave? And nobody wants to talk about, don't say, like, you can. I wish you wouldn't, because you didn't come here for nothing. But that's why, while you are living, since you're here for nothing, not for nothing, you should do the thing that you came here to do, which is literally be yourself. And everyone's like, oh, that's not enough. Yeah, it's not enough because like most of us don't know who we are. So we think it's small. It's not. Be yourself. Your child chose you. You are what they've got. The biggest thing, the richest thing you could give them is you. No one's got that. No one can give them that. You. Whoever the heck that is. And whatever the heck they love, whatever spews so brilliantly from within them, that is a sacred gift. And you cannot convince your child with words to be themselves when they've never seen you do it. There are some choices I've made in my parenting because of who I am that I could have done something different, but I can't because I'm this. Because this is important to me. Everyone has the right to say, you know what, this is important to me. This is the choice I'm going to make. Now, let me tell you, if you have been chosen as a parent, that is an honor. And that should tell you something. Because you can do this thing that I call the greatest act of courage. Because you cannot keep these children safe. So if that's your intention, drop it unless you hate yourself. That cannot go well. Now, yeah, it's Earth. Teach them to cross the street, you know, but true, like, safety on an emotional, mental level. You can't just do that for them. You give them the things that truthfully allow them to do that for themselves, no matter what age they are. That's what works. But here we are, and we are committing to. Let me know if you're in on this. Are you in? Committing to knowing well who you are. So if you're in, that's the list of 100 characteristics, and I'm gonna redo it with you. Who are you? So, we're gonna have to keep talking about this expansion, but that is the beginning of it. That is the beginning of it. That is the foundation of it. There's nothing that can come forth without that foundation. Well, there's plenty that can come. Plenty that I don't think you want to deal with. Thank you so much for being here with me, for listening for 42 minutes-ish. I value your time and your energy and your choice to engage with me here so much. Your choice to be a parent on purpose so much. And I look forward to seeing you again. Till next time.